Hi and welcome to the Ruby Tuesday. My name is Ruben.
And I'm Kay.
And welcome to 2022's first TV series review for the Ruby Tuesday. We've done one movie. This is our first TV series, and it's The Witches of Eastwick.
With the Witches of Eastwick.
No, it's not. It's a discovery of witches.
Discovery of Witches, Season 3.
Diana and Matthew return to the present to face a personal tragedy and deep political division among the creatures. The forces of conservatism seek to preserve the separation between vampires, witches and demons, while reformers wish to dismantle the status quo.
So in the UK, this comes out on Now TV and Sky. There are 7 episodes to the final season. There isn't going to be more, even though I believe there are 4 books. We keep wanting to read the books, but with time and the amount of stuff that we have to do, and you working and me writing, it just ends up we never have enough time to read them. So after this, though, it really feels like we need to kind of go and read the books, because for me, particularly Season 3 feels like I'm missing a lot of information that happens to go on, like these characters explaining what's happened to them, and you get little bits of understanding of what certain characters are up to or where they come from. But for me, it really feels like I'm missing a story, a backstory or some stuff. It also feels like for the first half of the season, for me, the story goes all over the place. We're following this character, we're following that character, and I just kept on wondering, but this is the last season, guys, and you only have 7 episodes. Why are you taking so long to get to the parts that feel like they're important? And then there's the episodes that are also slow, because there's a lot of talky talk, and that's normal for this series, so I don't quite know what's wrong with this season. Maybe you can help. What are your thoughts, babe?
So my thoughts are that Season 3 begins directly after Season 2. In terms of the chronology and the timeline of the show. But we've had, as an audience, we've had a really big gap in between. So they come back into Season 2 on this really emotional moment that you're no longer connected to because it's been many, many months. Lots has happened in the world. You've watched lots of other things in between. And you're trying to remember going, why do I care? Who was that again? What was that about? And it just takes you a long time to get back into it. And it would have been really great if they'd started Season 3 with a whole load of action that kind of caught you up on what's been going on. But instead we have a very slow, very emotionally charged episode. Sit there going, I know I should care. I know I should be feeling something. I should connect with these characters on this emotional time, but I'm not really, like, I get it intellectually, but because we've had such a long gap in between.
I definitely feel like there's 2 camps, 2 audiences. Ones that love the books, and I feel like you'll probably come into episode 1 and go, yeah, I remember that bit, that was so sad. But for people that don't have time to read the books or just kind of watching another series and, oh yeah, I remember watching Season 2, that was quite good, I've kind of forgotten what's happened. They do, it's like a 30-second kind of catch up. Remember what happened? And you're like, no, I don't remember what happened.
Not really.
So my best kind of help for Season 3 is to go back, probably watch the last 2 episodes of Season 2, refresh yourself if you're really feeling like we did. That might give you that kind of emotional connection that you need. Because there are some really good moments in this final season. Some action moments, not as much as I wanted. I was really hoping we were going to get to see the demon class really come into its own here and see what they can do. That doesn't happen at all. We kind of get to see the vampires do their thing. I feel like there was almost more magic in Season 2 where we get to see her weaving the spells. That was very cool. I love the costumes in Season 2. There are, again, great costumes in this, but not quite to the extent. You remember her amazing white outfit. The sets in Season 3, however, are pretty cool. I literally stopped and said to you, oh, there's one under the bridge with the pillars, and look at all the mist that the director has wanted to go there in that one, but why is there even mist coming out of that pillar?
I don't know, but it looks pretty.
Artistic style, visually, the cinematography was great. I do think the acting, again, was kind of what you expect that you've come to expect from these characters. Matthew is quite frustrating. His character is very, because you were mentioning his long reserved past, and that is still very much a part of his character in season 3, which can be very frustrating. It was for me to watch, because you think that he would just get over some of the stuff that would really help him in his relationship and making certain decisions quicker, rather than coming to them a long time after his wife is finally getting him round to the right idea of what he's meant to be doing. That takes a while, and that can be frustrating, but I guess it's correct for his character.
Yeah.
I do like there are some mannerisms that Matthew plays that gives him an otherworldly so he tilts his head sometimes like this, and it's just like he's got a tick as if he's a vampire. It's not a tick like he's got a tick because he's human. It's just, it feels like he's assessing the situation. And there are moments like that with his acting that I really appreciated, that gave me an understanding into the psyche of a really old vampire. It kind of creates more of that characteristic that you want. I thought that was great.
I thought the last 2 to 3 episodes were really good, and it came back to what it was originally, and it came back with a bit more pacing and a bit more action happening. You had so many in this season. You just had so many slow pans to music.
There were a lot.
Deep contemplating faces to music. And I'm just like, okay, we get it. We don't need a 20-second pan to establish where we are. Like, we know where we are.
It was frustrating because maybe in season 2 you could have gotten away with that. But because it's the final season, you're kind of thinking in the back of your mind, this is the last that we're going to get, so it's bittersweet watching it. So everything that you feel like they're wasting time on, you're like, but you could tell us other bits of the story that you've left out. And that's what was I think the most frustrating thing about watching this season, because there's more stories that they haven't put in, but instead they've decided to keep the intro that's a minute long instead of just doing the credits at the beginning and saving that time. So you got another 2 minutes, get rid of the slow pans, add some of those characters that you haven't given backstories on. There is what's his name, Glass?
Gallowglass.
Gallowglass. Probably my favorite character in this season. I thought it was great, really great backstory, but I wanted to know a lot more of him. And I know from comments in our previous reviews that there is a lot more to do with him that they kind of haven't put in here. And I was like, oh, but he's such an interesting character. So there are moments in this that are like, yeah, it's excellent. I like what they've done there. It gives me that kind of, oh, that's really kind of supernatural magic stuff. There's a bit of witchy fights going on. But then it goes to, now we're going to slow pan. And then they were like, now we're going to contemplate and look forlorn off into the distance. And so I was really mixed on this because I hadn't read the books. You hadn't either. The first season we thought, well, that was really fun. And the second was like, oh, I like this. They're like time hopping. The magics are just going bigger. And I expected this to be the crescendo.
Yeah.
This season to be big, fun, and exciting. And instead it was just like, blah, 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 blah. And it does finish well.
Yeah.
Feels like most things are wrapped up. There are definitely other stories that could have continued, but for the most part, there's an arc that they've completed that just suddenly comes to an end and like, bloop, okay, it's done.
And now we're done.
So yeah, have mixed feelings. I would say, if I were to rank the seasons, I would go from bottom 3, 1, 2, because I think I like season 2 more than 1. What would you?
I don't know.
rank
I
them?
think in my mind right now it would be 3, 2, 1, but I would need to watch them again just to be sure.
Because it has been a while.
It has been a while.
Yeah, with lots of stuff happening in between.
Exactly.
So if I were to give this a ranking out of Nicolas Cage's 5, I would probably give it 2.5, maybe 2 3/4 Nicolas Cage's out of 5.
Yep, I'm going to give it 3 out of 5 Nicolas Cages.
Cool. Okay, let us know in the comments below. I hope I wasn't too harsh. We've got to go with our honest review of my initial feelings. Maybe if I watched it from beginning and watched it like the books is that trilogy.
If you binged all 3 seasons.
All 3, it might feel better together. But as it's like a standalone season 3, which you haven't watched for a long time, it's abrupt and it feels wrong in its pacing.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, thanks so much for watching this, but most of all, until next time, remember,
Live long and Tuesday. Okay, can I go sleep now?
No, I have to edit.